One of the steps you will need to take while applying for your Canadian permanent residence is having your foreign educational credentials assessed. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5+ ways to get an educational credential assessment, so definitely watch till the end to get the full gist. Hi Magi's gang, my name is Majojiba, Maji for short. If you're new here, you are welcome to my channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Get in here, group hug guys. Thank you so much for your support. It's always a pleasure to have you here with me again. I hope everyone's having a good week so far and you are not letting anyone or anything dim your light. You got to keep that light shining. So without wasting any time, let's just jump straight into today's video. This video will cover what is an Educational Credential Assessment or ECA, who needs an Educational Credential Assessment, which credentials do you need to get assessed, how do you get an Educational Credential Assessment, what does your Educational Credential Assessment report mean, how do you submit your Educational Credential Assessment report. Timestamps would also be in the video if you wanted to skip to any part that you might be more interested in. An Educational Credential Assessment is used to verify that your foreign degree, diploma or certificate is valid and equal to a Canadian one. There are different types of Educational Credential Assessments. However, you need to get an Educational Credential Assessment for immigration purposes. If you got another type of Educational Credential Assessment, you may be able to get it reissued depending on the type of Educational Credential Assessment and/or issuing organization. You must include your Educational Credential Assessment report and the reference number in your Express entry profile. If you completed your education outside Canada, you need an Educational Credential Assessment to be eligible as the principal applicant for Federal Skilled Workers Program or earn points for education you got outside Canada. You could also earn points for your spouse or common law partner's education if they are coming with you to Canada. To earn points, your Educational Credential Assessment report must show that your completed foreign credential is equal to a completed Canadian secondary school or post-secondary credential. In most cases, you only need an assessment for your highest level of education. For example, if you have a master's degree, you only need an assessment for that degree. You do not necessarily need one for your bachelor's degree. However, to get points for having 2 or more credentials, you need an assessment for each one. To get full points for more than one credential, at least one of the credentials must be for 3 or more years of study. If your post-secondary credential is not equal to a Canadian credential, you could get your secondary credential assessed. This would get you points for completing secondary school. We still have merch available, and you can click on either the Teespring link in the description bar below or go to the stores tab on my YouTube channel, or you could also click on the Redbubble link in the description bar below. Some of the merch available on Teespring are exclusive to Teespring. For example, Don't Let Anyone Dim Your Light. You would only be able to get that on Teespring, but on my Redbubble store we have a variety of merch. We also have aprons, you won't believe. So if you want to cook, you can get a very beautiful apron from my merch store on Redbubble. You must get your assessment from an organization or a professional body designated by Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada. The organization or professional body will give you a report that tells you what your education is equal to in Canada. Processing times and costs may vary depending on the organization or professional body. Once you choose a designated organization or a professional body, they will tell you how to submit your documents to get your assessment. You must use one of the following designated organizations to obtain an Educational Credential Assessment. There's the Comparative Education Service from the University of Toronto School of Continuing Studies, the International Credential Assessment Service of Canada, the popular one which I believe most of you know, the World Education Services. There's also the International Qualifications Assessment Services and the International Credential Evaluation Service from British Columbia Institute of Technology. If you plan to work for a larger employer or in a regulated occupation, you may need to have your assessment done by a specific designated organization. And to figure this out, you would have to check with your employer or the regulatory body for your occupation for more information. If your primary occupation is specialist physician or general practitioner family physician, the Medical Council of Canada must do an Educational Credential Assessment for your primary medical diploma. If you need a license to practice, the Pharmacy Examining Board of Canada must do your assessment. For example, you would need a license if you were caring for patients in a community pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, long-term care facility, or other practice settings. However, if you are in a position where you don't need a license, one of the other designated organizations can assess your credentials. For example, you may not need a license to work in the pharmaceutical industry or in a government job where you need a pharmacy degree for the job, but don't need a license to practice pharmacy. Please contact the regulatory body in the province where you plan to live to find out if you need a license to practice your intended occupation. As mentioned earlier, your ECA report must show that your foreign credential is valid and equal to a completed Canadian secondary school or post-secondary credential. If your foreign credential is valid and equal to a completed Canadian secondary school or post-secondary credential, you must include the result and reference number in your express entry profile. If your ECA report shows that your credential isn't equal to a completed Canadian credential, or the foreign educational institution is not recognized, you will not meet the education requirement under the Federal Skilled Workers Program and you will not get any points for it. Your report must be issued for immigration purposes by an organization or professional body designated by the Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, be issued on or after the date the IRCC designated the organization or professional body, must not be more than 5 years old on the date you submit your express entry profile or apply for permanent residence. Also, you need to keep in mind that you should not ask the designated organization or the professional body to send the IRCC your ECA report. Once you get your report, enter the result and reference number into your express entry profile. Keep your original documents and be ready to upload copies if you are invited to apply for permanent residence. To get full points for having more than one credential, at least one of the credentials must be for a program of 3 or more years in length, and you need a valid educational credential assessment for each credential. Okay fam, that's all for today. I hope you found this video helpful and I hope that you can share it with someone that would also find the information I have shared beneficial. If you did find it helpful, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed, please also remember to subscribe and join Magi's gang. I will see you all in my next video, but till then, as always, stay blessed and remember God loves you. Bye.